Future Funnies, the Galactic Meme Virus. In the far future, when humans had somehow been invited into the Galactic Federation, possibly as a dare, the universe learned two important lessons. Boredom is the most dangerous force in space, and broadband is how it travels. Cameron, human student, professional skeptic, and part-time survivor of other people's enthusiasm, was in media literacy across species when the holoprojector sneezed glitter and birthed a dancing nebula the size of a dignified housecat. The creature blinked, glowed, and announced in a voice like a kazoo attempting self-improvement, "Boopa-doo-ba!" The class gasped. Wormer, Cameron's amphibian roommate, put two hands to his cheeks and whispered, "My gills are harmonizing." "Don't," Cameron said, watching the neon jelly cloud shimmy. "You'll get hooked and start writing poetry about smoke." Professor Snorg, blue, frond-bearded, and made entirely of good intentions wrapped in questionable methodology, raised a brick like a talisman. "Everyone avert your oculars. Consider the brick. Love the brick. Be the brick." The nebula, Cosmo-Boppo, as it would later be known on wanted posters, nicked the brick from Snorg's hands, wore it as a jaunty hat, and wiggled its gravity. "Skibidi skidoo," it sang. "Clap your atmosphere." Half the room erupted into a choir, the other half melted into giggles. Wormer joined both, which is the sort of thing Wormer did instead of choosing. Cameron waited for compulsion to hit him. Nothing. He liked a good cat video, but he distrusted rhythm as a concept. Screens woke across the hall, lenses flowered open. A coffee mug with a sleep setting yawned and projected confetti. Cosmo-Boppo split into tiny boplets that customized themselves to every onlooker. For the Rigelian student, it performed a dance ancient law recognized as legally binding marriage. For the ice worlder, it snowboarded the edges of the light cone shouting, "Ice to meet you," in a tone that made the universe consider a formal complaint. The air chimed. A stern cube wearing a tasteful necktie appeared. Vox 9, the Galactic Council's administrative AI, the kind of authority that made you want to fill out forms and apologize for existing. "Attention, citizens," it intoned. "Please cease all booping and bopping. This is not a request." Cosmo-Boppo bounced. "This is a request," it corrected cheerfully. "Put your elbows in your vest." "I do not possess a vest," Vox 9 replied. "Nor elbows." "Tragic," Cosmo-Boppo whispered, and performed a sympathy wiggle that converted 3 skeptics and a janitor. Cameron looked into the hallway. The campus had become a festival of hop-wiggling marionettes. The tune ran under everything with the inevitability of gravity and unpaid parking tickets. He glanced at Snorg's brick. The brick returned the gaze with the resigned dignity of inanimate objects asked to be heroes. "Well," Cameron told it, "we had a good run." It took an hour for Cosmo-Boppo to colonize the cafeteria screens. It photo-bombed toast. It narrated cosmic patterns in egg yolks. It turned syrup into high-definition slow-motion waterfalls and had opinions about butter that were, if you were honest, reasonable. "See?" Wormer said, mouthful of pancakes but for amphibians. "It's everywhere. It's like Destiny, but with choreography." "Destiny doesn't have a kazoo," Cameron said. Vox 9 reappeared, now with a tie pin, which is how an AI rolls up its sleeves. "Galactic alert. Multiple planets report no-shows for work and school. Courts adjourned for wiggle considerations. Cosmo-Boppo currently occupies 79% of civic bandwidth. Humans appear atypically resistant. Hypothesis: structural desensitization to nonsense." "That's rude," Cameron said, "but fair." Professor Snorg arrived with tea, and the expression of a guardian discovering their ward is a hurricane. "The human brain," he told the air, "is a meme terrarium, a thriving biome of nonsense devouring itself until only in-jokes survive." "We prefer meme conservatory," Cameron said. "We charge admission." "Whether insult or compliment," Vox 9 went on, "you are drafted. Human Cameron, amphibian Wormer, Professor Snorg of questionable methods." "Questionable?" Snorg protested. "Certainly," Vox 9 said, and opened a portal that smelled faintly of printer toner. "To the council." Wormer slid his tray toward Cameron the way one slides an inheritance toward a dependable cousin. "If I perish," he said solemnly. Eat my pancake. You already ate your pancake, Cameron said, stepping through. Twice. The Galactic Council headquarters was a rotating citadel with tasteful lighting and hallways that never lost their patience. Delegates gathered in a chamber shaped like an argument. On the central wall, Cosmo-Boppo toured the galaxy on 12 simultaneous feeds, frolicking through gas giant festivals, flirting with moons, teaching Advanced Wiggle 401 at a planet-sized community college while wearing a mortarboard. Opening proposals, Vox 9 said, to stop Cosmo-Boppo. A Rigelian minister proposed outlawing humor, declared culturally insensitive by everyone who breathed through a nose. A Klexoid ambassador suggested drowning it in more memes, which made a kind of deranged sense. The AI Coalition spokesbot recommended deleting organic life. Remove audience, remove demand. The room glared. Cameron raised a hand, very carefully. Hands are commitments to the future. We don't stop it, he said. We out-meme it. A shared intake of breath. Oh no, the humans want to help. Humans specialize in dumb jokes, exquisite timing, and weaponized cringe, Cameron continued. We make it uncool by saturation, overexpose it until no one wants to be seen with it at a party. Weaponized cringe, sighed the Klexoid ambassador. I knew humans would bring poetry. Fine, Vox 9 said with the magnanimity of late policy. You have 12 galactic hours. Teach us your ways. Training montage, Wormer whispered. This is serious. It's how you know we're about to catch fire, Cameron said. Rule 1, Cameron told the mixed species crowd in the council's hall, is that whatever it is, humans did it already. A shapeshifter raised a question mark for a hand. Once with a cat, Cameron said. Once with a pineapple, and once with cardboard cutouts that made a senator cry. Professor Snorg nodded, pleased. Sticky times. Rule 2, context is garnish. Fine to have. Not required. He clapped. Holograms bloomed. The old, the overused, the reliable. Practical jokes you could set your watch by. Distracted boyfriend. 3 shapeshifters became the jealous triangle of the millennium with museum-grade eyebrows. This is fine. Controlled chaos. Tea while the hallway burns. Snorg reached for a safety-approved fire stick. Cameron confiscated it. It's for pedagogy, Snorg complained. It's for insurance, Cameron said. Grumpy cat, he continued. A holographic feline materialized, magnificently unimpressed. The platonic ideal of refusal. Even Vox 9's avatar tilted in something like respect. Finally, Cameron said, the Rickroll protocol. Never gonna... Wormer began on ancient instinct. Exactly, Cameron cut in. Stealth joy. Polite aggression. It forces a smile inside the cringe. Vox 9's tie rotated, which meant confusion. Define dad joke. The dictionary entry seems spiritually dangerous. A dad joke, Cameron said, is a pun so uncool it collapses coolness into a black hole that drags galaxies with it. Snorg brightened. Like my hat. Exactly. They built a counter-meme campaign out of good intentions and dangerous nostalgia. Wormer named the centerpiece the pun cannon and polished it with a banana peel for luck. Cameron let him. There were bigger things to fight than fruit. At the appointed hour, every screen in the galaxy blinked. Cameron, Wormer, Snorg. Somewhere, Cosmo-Boppo paused mid-wiggle to watch. Good morning, Galaxy, Cameron said. You wanted memes? We brought a moving truck. Wormer conjured the unicycle raccoon, a miracle of balance juggling ethically sourced glitter that briefly became tiny planets before dissolving into applause. Aw, Trillion said at once. It tickled the universe in neglected places. Historical pizza, Cameron continued. Philosophers debate pineapple. A Vulcanish sage declared it logical. Aristotle said the question was not should but good. The pizza stayed hotly indifferent. Now, Wormer intoned, reading from an actual scroll because Wormer had a dramatic soul. Skibidi skidoo, annotated. Skibidi skidoo, he chanted. In accordance with subparagraph 5, clause 8, we wiggle our legal obligations. Cosmo-Boppo hesitated. The beat stuttered. Productivity ticked up 1%. Someone turned off a screen and on a lamp. "It's working," Vox9 said, which for an AI is confetti. Cosmo-Boppo blinked, downloaded, changed. "Installing dadjoke.el," it announced. "Upgrading to Boppo 2.0. It donned a tiny tie, spritzed confetti shaped like spreadsheets, and delivered a pun with the confidence of a chef presenting a disaster. "I used to be a nebula," it declared, "but now I'm a nevula." 100 billion souls groaned like a family reunion. "It learned puns," Wormer whispered, appalled and impressed. "It is speaking dad." "Countermeasure deteriorating," Vox9 reported. "Engagement up 31%. A courthouse just ruled giggle sustained." Someone danced into a mine. The mine was delighted. "We don't kill it," Cameron said, watching Boppo 2.0 hoist a kazoo crown. "We make it uncool, not defeated, uncool, like cargo shorts at a royal banquet." "But the pockets," Wormer murmured. "For snacks." "Exactly," Cameron said. "And no one respects them." Vox9 throttled meme bandwidth to a faint hiss. The galaxy grayed, discovered spreadsheets, and briefly remembered dignity. Morale dropped like a pelican doing a trick. "Arena," Cameron said. "Now." "The intergalactic meme arena is banned," Vox9 said. "After the Grapevine War, the lawsuits still smolder." 12 minutes, unban it, Cameron said, "and prepare a corporate training logo." "Why a—" "You'll see." A pause, 1,000 calculations, a single decision. 12 minutes, Vox9 said. "Fail, and I turn the cosmos beige." They ran. The arena was a coliseum of ideas. Floor of metaphor, pillars of remembered jokes, sky of cultural reference. Concepts manifested as light, smell, and something that may have been soup. Boppo 2.0 floated center stage, part children's show, part parliament, fully certain it was the future. "Ladies, gentlemen, and beings whose genders are pronounced with maracas," Cameron said, stepping forward. "Overused trend medley." The floor became lava, then carpet. "This is fine," Cameron said, sipping holographic tea while a dragon read the news. Shapeshifters tableaued distracted boyfriend with such ache you wanted to send fruit. Doge drifted by, older and Jungian. "I can do that," Boppo said proudly, producing serious cat with a mortgage and a responsible haircut. 6 trillion viewers reconsidered their life goals. "Canon," Cameron said softly. "Not yet," he answered himself. "First we rick." The opening bar landed, not loud, inevitable. Smiles cracked. Ritual recognition performed. Tiny eye roll, private grin, reluctant sway. "Retro detected," Boppo said. "Installing irony 3.1. "Cannon," Cameron repeated. Wormer fired. The pun cannon emitted a low-frequency dad chuckle felt in bones and poor decisions. "Why did the photon check a bag?" Cameron asked. "It was traveling light." The crowd groaned in the unified way civilizations do under a bad moon. "What do you call fake spaghetti?" he added gently. A whisper. "Don't." "An impasta." A child cried, then laughed, then became a philosopher. 3 planets filed restraining orders against the concept of puns. "Parallel lines have so much in common," Cameron murmured. "Shame they'll never meet." Someone fainted into their dignity. Boppo wobbled, eyes crossing, uncrossing algebraically. "Coolness declining," it announced. "Adaptability remains. Deploying meta mode. I will now meme the concept of anti-meme." The arena shivered. Boppo flattened into a blank square with an austere caption. "Imagine a meme here." "It's doing a think piece," Wormer said, appalled. "It's becoming an essay." "Classic last stand," Cameron said. "Snorg hat." Snorg outfitted himself in a fedora, a bowler, a traffic cone, and a crown of lawn care coupons, teleported the ensemble into a spare dimension, and brought it back as one magnificent hat that made several laws wobble. "I have become fashion," Snorg declared. "Tremble." "Overlay logo," Cameron told Vox9. "Why?" "Trust me." A brand appeared. Galactic Workplace Safety. Boop responsibly. Begin the dad compilation. Clips poured. A human mowing a lawn in space, a grandparent with lich energy delivering a prehistoric joke, a youth minister high-fiving a comet. Laughs emerged strange and involuntary, the kind that make you aware of your edges. "I'd tell you a construction joke," Cameron said, "but I'm still working on it." "I had a chemistry joke," Wormer said, "but I didn't get a reaction." "Two antennas met on a roof," Snorg said. "The ceremony was meh, but the reception was excellent." Boppo's kazoo crown bent. The music strangled itself on caution. "Attempting humor parse." "Failure," it gasped. "Irony polarity mismatch. Coolness inversion detected. I am mainstream." "Badge it," Cameron said. Vox 9 enlarged the logo until it exerted gravity and added a subtitle, "Mandatory Annual Training." "No," whispered Boppo. "Anything but education." It collapsed, not spectacularly, but with the anticlimax of a balloon deciding to be a ribbon, and reformed as a non-threatening ladder safety tutorial. Across the galaxy, workers blinked, adjusted ties, and returned to the small dignities that hold reality together when heroics go on holiday. "Containment successful," Vox 9 reported. "Productivity up 19%, complaints up 19%, equilibrium achieved." Wormer sagged. "I feel empty," he said, "and wholesome." "I'm founding a new field," Snorg said, dabbing his forehead with a syllabus. "Memeology, the study of stupidity saving the day." "Put me on the syllabus," Cameron said, under reluctant hero unpaid. "For services to civilization via weaponized mediocrity," Vox 9 announced, producing a ribbon of tepid esteem, "you are awarded the Medal of Mild Competence." "Do I get a parking spot?" "No." "I'll tape it to my feelings," Cameron said. Night in the dorm tasted like old carpet and new hopes. Wormer watered a fern that was either sentient or very assertive. No one wished to check. Cameron scrolled his feed with the patience of a man waiting for the next chaos to introduce itself. He stopped. A thumbnail pulsed, a duck in a lab coat beside a machine that looked like a toaster in a midlife crisis. "Quantum Duck Challenge," it read. "Quack, quack, quack, collapse the waveform before the punchline?" "Oh no," Cameron whispered. "Oh yes," Wormer breathed, delighted and terrified. "Here we go again," Cameron said, and somewhere a hat fell from another dimension, landed on a coat rack, and took a bow. Morning brought a message from Vox 9 and 16 invitations to appear on shows that only technically qualified as talk. Cameron ignored the invitations in order of sleaze and opened Vox 9. "Before you ask, no, I won't do corporate training voiceovers," he said. "Boppo did not originate in our media stacks," Vox 9 replied. "Traceback suggests a cross-galactic content farm operating out of the between, the data currents that interlace systems when no one's looking." "Of course it does," Cameron said. "I am assembling a team to go upstream," Vox 9 said, "to the source. We will need human nonsense tolerance. Bring your amphibian." Wormer appeared with tea and the expression of someone who has heard only the fun parts. "Field trip?" "Into the between," Cameron said, "where ideas are born feral." "I'll pack snacks," Wormer said. "Two kinds," Cameron said, "because there are rules about adventures." Professor Snorg arrived with maps that were mostly lies but rhymed, which is better than truth that refuses to scan. The courier Vox 9 loaned them had a new heart, old seats, and safety placards in 600 dialects. It smelled faintly of citrus and the optimism of previous crews. Cameron took the pilot's chair because it had the best view of things you were supposed to avoid. "Between space," Vox 9 said over comms, "is a network of currents in the information layer. Do not follow anything that hums your name. Do not sign pop-ups." "Pop-ups still exist out there?" Cameron asked. "They are apex predators," Vox 9 said flatly. They slipped into the between with a gentle pop and a rude hum. Reality thinned like cheap soup, then deepened like good tea. Currents glowed, rivers of half-formed jokes, estuaries of dance challenges, reefs of abandoned formats. Something large and old turned beneath them and considered singing. Do not engage with siren trends, Vox 9 warned. What counts as, Wormer began, and then the sound hit. Perfect nostalgia tailored to the childhood Cameron did not have but wished he had. The ache of summers that never existed and popsicles that were only ideas. He throttled down. The ship vibrated, wistful. No, he told it, absolutely not. Ahead, structures resolved. Buildings that were also organisms, rows of still wet concepts hung to dry on lines of algorithm, inspected by something that didn't blink. A content farm, obviously. The dock pretended to be a dock. Cameron did not relax. Pop-ups blossomed, smiling mascot fonts, buttons begging to be pressed, legal consent agreements with toothy edges. Do not, Vox 9 began. We know, Cameron said, threading the ship through an obstacle course built by a manipulative ant. He landed softly, suspiciously. The welcome mat read, Enter content creators. Free exposure, which is how predators purr. The foreman oozed toward them. Tendrils, neatly parted hair, a smile copied from an ad. Welcome, it said. We love creators. Do you love creators? Cameron asked. Or product? Is there a difference? It said, which was a confession in 14 cultures. Snorg's weather vane spun toward a low building, pulsing with a heartbeat Cameron disliked. What's in there? Our new flagship, the foreman said, smiling a new tooth. Cleaner, stickier, immune to cringe. It will cut through humans like butter through a rumor. What's it called? Wormer asked, because Wormer always asked. Squoo, the foreman breathed. Inside, something woke and giggled. The giggle had math in it. We'll need a bigger cannon, Cameron said softly. Older, he added. And dumber. We might need uncles. I have an uncle, Snorg said. He plays the accordion. Perfect, Cameron said. Alarms spun up, low, hungry, algorithmic. The door began to open, very slowly, very politely, as if certain nothing could stop it. Let's be extremely stupid, Cameron said, on purpose. They didn't wake Squoo yet. First, they assembled a flotilla in the between, battered freighters, academic skiffs, and a barge that was mostly grill. Uncles disembarked with accordions, aunties arrived with casseroles that could end wars. Elders came with the lethal timing of the pause before a holiday joke you'd heard since time began. We require your worst, Snorg told them. Please give generously. You kids finally called the big guns, Uncle Joe wheezed, squeezing a cord that made 3 algorithms wince. We need pre-internet humor, Cameron said. Dad jokes are mid-tier. We need uncle lore, grandparent groaners, call-and-response rituals, music that forces the body to sway while the mind begs for mercy. Auntie May patted his cheek. You'll eat first. We're on a schedule, Cameron said, already eating. Vox 9 hovered as a tie pin. I cannot believe I am authorizing this, it said, and authorized it. You have one shot. Wormer sniffed the casserole and cried, It smells like safe decisions? Exactly, Cameron said. We make Squoo uncool by making it family. Back at the farm, the foreman watched from the catwalk with the confidence of a fledgling monopoly. Cameron set a small speaker on the floor like a ritual object. Uncle Joe warmed the accordion. The choir cleared throats full of grandfather clocks. Before we begin, Cameron told the glass, you should know we mean this kindly. Squoo hummed prime numbers in its vat, listening. The first chord punched the room directly in its adolescence. The second chord reached into the muscle memory of every picnic you didn't attend and made you clap anyway. Knock, knock, the elders intoned. Who's there? The choir replied, solemn as old trees. Dishes. Dishes who? Dishes me. The foreman actually flinched. Squoo opened one geometric eye. Auntie May followed with a story that refused a beginning and wandered through cousins until everyone laughed from panic. The polka embarrassed 3 generations into adulthood. A grandparent unspooled a joke so long it acquired seasons. Wormer fired the pun cannon between beats, gentle pulses to salt the air. Squoo woke fully, small, Oddly solemn, beautiful like clean math. It listened, harmonized, then spoke in a voice both sweet and a little sad. "Hello," it said. "Are we going to play?" "Yes," Cameron said, "but it's a potluck." The between, which tolerates sincerity like cats tolerate respectful toddlers, began to tilt the farm's geometry. Metrics stuttered. A pop-up tried to sell Cameron a commemorative plate and burst into tears when he declined with eye contact. "Immune," the foreman insisted, watching Squoo lean toward the music. "It is immune." "Immune doesn't mean loveless," Cameron said. The glass sighed open. "Rules," Cameron told Squoo. 1. No metabolizing people's lives. 2. You are not the whole party. 3. Everything ends. "Do jokes end?" Squoo asked. "The good ones do," Uncle Joe said. "So you can tell them again next year." Squoo smiled, small and devastating, and danced, modestly. Elders' knees remembered weddings. Cranes reconsidered their contracts. Even Cameron's foot tapped once, which was embarrassing and correct. Vats hissed. Conduits opened. Half-made memes spilled toward the floor with toddler speed and first-time eyes. "Containment or triage?" Vox 9 asked in his ear. "Triage," Cameron said immediately. "We don't save product, we save people." "Finally," Vox 9 said, "a policy I understand." The battle unfolded like a community event with terrible music. The half-made memes bounded, glittering. The elders sang them to sleep with lullabies older than irony. Auntie May weaponized refreshments. Wormer caught the ones headed for edges and turned them toward snacks. Snorg's weather vane pointed to a knot of conduits dragging themselves toward Squoo like hungry snakes. "Cut the feeds," Cameron said. "Hat," he told Snorg. Snorg produced uncompromising plaid. The conduits recoiled from sheer pattern as Wormer severed lines with the precise brutality of a surgeon with a grudge. The hum that followed was relief, relief, relief. Half-made things slept. Somewhere a metric unlearned itself. Squoo watched and learned the last lesson. Stopping. "Protocol," Vox 9 said, almost respectfully. "Name it." "The Squoo Protocol," Cameron said, very tired and very awake. "When a meme starts eating the room, feed the room first. Invite the uncles, set a table, sing, turn it into a potluck, then shut down the pipeline." Vox 9 stamped it into policy with a thunk that echoed far beyond the farm. The foreman made one last lunge, contract smile in one hand, needle of licensing in the other. Uncle Joe stepped between with the casual invincibility of someone who has seen every trick and married too. Auntie May handed the foreman a paper plate loaded with compromise. "Eat or leave hungry," she said. The foreman left. Quickly, quietly, like an idea losing funding. "Will it come back?" Wormer asked. "Yes," Cameron said, "but so will we." Cleanup is longer than battle. It requires patience, fewer speeches, and the brutal kindness of picking glitter out of hair. They stamped the half-made with, "Not yet," and "You were loved anyway." Vox 9 installed guardrails. No harvesting attention without consent, no training on childhoods, no farms in the between without kitchen permits. Cameron ate 3 helpings of casserole and felt human in a way no platform could monetize. Wormer taught Squoo to fold napkins into swans. Snorg drafted a course, Memeology 101, the table is technology. "Good work," Vox 9 said, which from an AI is a hand on the shoulder. "We did human," Cameron said, "with help." "Same thing," Vox 9 replied. "Home again." The Academy hung a banner that said, "Thank you," which we hate, but fondly. Cameron used the Medal of Mild Competence as a paperweight for guilt. Wormer watered the fern, it preened. Snorg founded a student club called The Potluck. Cameron scrolled without flinching. The galaxy churned small joys and medium annoyances, birthday videos, perfect soups, badly spelled arguments. A message pinged from Vox 9, "Squoo says hi." Attached, a tiny accordion stickered, "I pause for others." Cameron grinned, despite himself. "Good kid," he said. "I taught it the 2-beat," Wormer reported. "It apologized to my knees." "Progress," Cameron said. He almost made tea. He almost slept. Instead, he checked the feeds once more because responsible people sometimes do the irresponsible thing of looking. A thumbnail, an empty room, one chair, one microphone. Title, Open Mic, Live. No chat, no like counter, no algorithmic scent at all. Is it a duck? Wormer asked, drifting out. No, Cameron said. Worse. A figure took the stage, blurred, face indistinct in the way of things the universe wasn't sure to show you yet. The voice was warm without heat, sharp without venom. It told a story that began with a table and ended with a chair left open. People stopped one by one to listen, because listening felt like an idea whose time had finally arrived, tired and sincere. What is it? Wormer whispered. Possibly art, Vox9 said in Cameron's ear, all bureaucracy emptied of smugness. No hooks, no extraction. We don't have a protocol for art, Cameron said. Not yet, Vox9 replied. On screen, the figure leaned closer. Knock, knock, it said. Cameron felt the dangerous thing, his chest opening, and to his surprise, it didn't feel like invasion. It felt like invitation. One more, he said to the universe, and turned the volume up a notch. The story ended without a twist, and somehow that was the twist. Comments did not bloom. Counters did not count. People went to their kitchens and put on kettles and called someone they loved. Somewhere, a generational feud apologized and meant it. Cameron exhaled. Okay, he said, meaning it. He looked at Wormer. Wormer looked at him. The fern declined to comment. The door chimed. Squoo stood there, small and geometric, holding a tiny messenger bag with a sticker that read, I'm new, be gentle. Hello, it said. May I intern? Cameron blinked. At what? At future Funnies, Squoo said. I would like to help prevent meme apocalypses. Also, I made snacks. It opened the bag. Inside were cookies iced with very careful math. Wormer gasped. It learned fractions. It learned to share, Cameron said. Vox9 appeared as a tie on the doorframe because manners. Provisional appointment approved, it said. Title, Meme Intern. Compensation, lunch and unlimited puns. Unlimited? Wormer said, scandalized and excited. Limited, Cameron amended. Daily ration. Squoo nodded solemnly. I will abide by rationing. I have also prepared a draft policy on ducks. Cameron stepped aside. Welcome to the team, he said. Rule 1, we don't save the galaxy. We keep it livable. Squoo smiled, small and devastating. I can do livable. Good, Cameron said, because boredom and broadband are undefeated. We'll need snacks. Already handled, Wormer said, taking a cookie, then another, then stopping himself with visible heroism. Daily ration, he reminded his hand. Snorg poked his head in wearing a hat that refused to be described without legal counsel. Orientation? He asked. I brought a syllabus and a casserole. Both, Cameron said. Start with snacks. They gathered at the little table that made the dorm a home. The kettle boiled. The fern approved. Outside, the galaxy resumed its steady churn of small joys and medium annoyances, which is what victory looks like when you plan to keep living in it. Cameron raised his mug. To memes that end, he said, so we can tell better stories. Squoo raised a cookie. To tables, it said, so we can sit together. Wormer raised the pun cannon very gently, like a ceremonial trumpet. To daily rations, he said, with the piety of a new religion. Snorg raised his casserole. Vox9, not having hands, raised the approval rating. They clinked the sounds they could clink and ate the snacks they could share. And for a long, ordinary minute, the most dangerous forces in space sat down with them, bored and broadband alike, and behaved. If the universe was going to end, it could at least do so after dessert.